Okay, welcome back everybody. We're here again with Rosie Parra as she continues to share stories and answer questions and give comments and just give us an oral history of her life, of her living life. So we're going to start off with the first question that I've been wanting to ask is we're going to get into the early years when you got involved with the Cosino and Rumsen Carmel tribe. How did it feel when you first started to make your regalia and they were showing you how to make it and how to do it? How did you, what were your emotions going through as you were making it?
Oh, I felt very happy and enjoying being with my relatives and learning more about our culture of my great-great-grandpa's side of being Costanoan Remsen Carmel tribe.
So who was it that showed you guys how to do the regalia?
Well, we know we knew already that some of our people up north, out in Carmel, that they were our Ohlonies like us, Costanoans, and this is how we got to knowing their ways, and so that made us to be, you know, in that way to do ceremonies and dress in that way of our people.
Okay. So again, this was the early 90s and obviously there was no internet, there's no YouTube to look at stuff or really research. It was just by word of mouth and hey, I know this person, I know this person. I remember those early days, when you were having us get our regalia together and going to the regalia classes. And I remember it was real exciting because it was something new, it was something different. And did it feel like you unified your family a little bit more by that? By doing ceremonies and getting more involved with the tribe?
Yes, knowing that this is the way our people were all about. Yes, how they did ceremonies and what they wore.
What kind of feathers do the females put on the headdress? I'm gonna go and zoom in on the.
We use duck feathers, pheasant, and dove.
And the duck feathers, those are. You guys put those anywhere else on the regalia or just on the headdress?
Well, we mostly on the hats.
On the headpieces. Okay. What were some of the? How would you keep some of the things onto the regalia, like the string? Is it string or is it twine?
Well, in the leather, we, punch little holes with like an ice pick, and then that's how we use sinew. It's some kind of a string, but it's very strong, and it was made out of, supposedly I understood that it was like animal gut. I don't, you know.
Okay. So when you completed your regalia and you were ready to dance, after learning songs and learning the dances, and your regalia was, completely put together, when you would put it on and you were with relatives, with the Ohlonies, and you see everybody else's, did you feel like, what was the emotion or the feelings that you felt the first time you put your regalia on and it was completed and you danced for the first time? How did that make you feel?
We always, before we start dancing, we always prayed. We all got in a circle and we prayed before we start our ceremony and dancing.
Okay. And after the first time you danced, did it take a while for you to realize, this is what I really want to do. I want to do this all the time. Um, do you remember some of the first places you went? The farthest?
Oh, the first place that I went with our people, my cousins, it was at Mount McDonough, and I I got to know one of the medicine men there and his uncle, and I didn't understand, but when we were there on a big circle praying, they came to me, picking me out of the, oh, I don't know, maybe there was a lot of people. It was kind of hard to say, figure how many people, but they were probably 100 people there in a circle. So they picked me, and the medicine man and his uncle, they came and they chose me. They took me into the arena, a big circle, and they started dancing to the drum, and I just didn't know what it was all about, and so I went along dancing with the drum with them.
And after that, did you add like to your regalia? Did you add additional things? Like, did you have what we could see in the picture in the back? Is that otter or rabbit? Your cape?
That's a mink cape. That was my first mink coat.
Okay. Which one? What do you use now?
I use rabbit, wild rabbit.
Wild rabbit. Okay. And have any of your granddaughters? Have you ever showed them how, like, what each thing means on the regalia, or explained to them,
Oh
or
yes,
tried
I
to?
explained to them. Yes.
What do you explain to them about?
Well, our regalia is very important to our people, to us, and we have to take good care of it and respect it. And because this is the way it was carried on with our people, and they understand that.
Okay, that's good. So a little bit back to the your first powwow. I remember the first time we danced was, I believe it was in Ontario or Montclair, off of Central and Holt somewhere, at a jewelry, or I were invited there to dance by a jewelry store. It was like Native American leather.
Was it a library?
Or
I think
something
it was a
like that.
library by
Library.
the City Hall
Yeah.
in Ontario.
Yeah. And so I remember after that dancing part, we got really excited and we wanted to, where we're going to go next. Can you go a little bit into what was it like traveling up and down California with your family?
Well, with me, I felt very happy, spiritual happy, and it made me a good feeling. I felt a good feeling just knowing that we're going to get out and dance, because every time I dance, I felt very spiritual, very happy.
Did the feeling come from you dancing, or no?
I don't know, but it was a beautiful feeling as I danced. It made me feel very spiritual, happy every time I dance.
And so after some of the places that you would dance or go to or travel to with, other council members, other tribal members, and after the ceremonies, we would be there for a few days, and, not every day we would have a ceremony. Other days were traveling days. When it was just downtime and it was just you and the elders or your generation, what would you guys talk about outside of the ceremony when it would just be us at the campsite? What would you guys conversate about?
Well, we just talked about, it was not going to be too long of a dance, but we were going to all, get in there and as we dance, we pray as we're dancing, and we mustn't forget it's a prayer in our ceremonies.
So you guys pretty much would still continue to still be in ceremony, even though you guys weren't performing ceremony. You guys would still talk about the ceremony. Share stories about. Would you guys share stories about other ceremonies, and would you ask questions like, "Hey, how do you do this?" Or, what does this song mean? Would you guys share songs? Or I'm just trying to, give the viewers a little idea of what, because I was younger back then, so I didn't know what you guys would talk about in those circles. So we're just trying to get a little bit of insight on,
Yeah,
was it sharing stories and experiences?
we shared of our dance, what it meant, what our dances meant to be dancing to our Creator. We shared that it was all in prayer.
Okay, so you're still learning at the same time, and experiencing it and seeing everybody else. And who did you who would you attribute to the most that you learned from regarding ceremonies?
Um, well, I learned some of our dances that was taught to us by our chief and some of the cousins that learned from our people up north, and they would bring it to us and we would practice it, certain dances, but mostly the only dances we do has been the same dances because they mean in prayer. This is all our dances that we do. We sing and we dance our prayers. But we don't have a mixture of other dances. Only are certain ones that we've learned to do and keep it as prayers.
Okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and ask you one last question, then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and do another one, do another video on regalia and ceremonies. What is it that you want to leave those who that want to dance, or those that want to sing, or that want to drum, but might be a little bit embarrassed? I mean, I'll give you a quick example. I didn't like taking off my shirt the first time. It was just in front of, hundreds of people or thousands of people. So what advice would you give? Doesn't necessarily have to be younger people. It could be older people that want to dance and are on the fence about it. What advice would you give them to come on over to that side and to do ceremony for dancing, singing, and drumming?
What I say is it's understanding to be bashful from the first start of getting to be involved in dancing. You feel a little embarrassed, shy, but you have to understand that you're doing it because you're doing it in a good way, and that means very special. Our dances and our songs are very special. So we have to leave that being shy and put that away. That being embarrassed, put it away. Because when we get together, that's all in prayer and to enjoy.
Okay. Well, thank you, and everybody, again, stay tuned for the next video.
Thank you. Bye.